Are you Christian?
Yes.
Okay. So I noticed that you're talking about a lot about the Bible, and like the topic of abortion has been so personal to me. Not because like I've ever like tried to have an abortion or even had sex, but anyway. So in Exodus 21 to 20, Exodus 21, 22 to 25. Are you familiar with this?
I believe so.
Okay. So it talks about where a woman, like if they say if a woman is struck in her belly and it causes her to lose her seed, the man who did it is fined. But if he causes serious bodily injury to the woman, that means that he has to pay with like a life for life, tooth for tooth, and things like that. So that means that sometimes the woman's life takes precedent over the child's. It's not always the case, but it's in another instance, it's also very sad when like maybe an 11-year-old girl has a baby, right? Her body is not meant to carry a life like that to full term. Of course, God knows all. Of course, like you said, He's omniscient. He knows all things. But there are some times where it's cruel to allow an 11-year-old girl to have a baby, right? So even though the baby is very precious, like God says, babies are formed in the womb. They're very precious. Like children are a gift from God, but a woman and a child is also precious. They're also a gift from God. So why can we not give mercy to people who need it? Like, I do not support abortion in the instance where it's like just sex, right? Like where you're just having sex, you kill a baby. But like, there's sometimes when abortion is absolutely necessary for.
You said in rape.
Rape. Now, I think it depends. So I'm not saying like period point blank. There's a reason why the Bible does not give like a fact, like matter of fact, yes or no for abortion, because there's going to be cases where it's necessary. There are cases where it's not necessary.
When do you think it's necessary?
So it honestly depends. So like say for instance, like I said, the 11-year-old girl who was raped, who is going to have a child who has not even started her life yet. I feel like when you are raped, that is sin, correct? Rape is sin.
Yes.
Right. So like to force a child to have a baby as a result of sin and just like let that happen, I don't think that is the best way to do it. Now, if me, for instance, if I have a baby and I was either raped or even like pregnant just because I want to do what I want to do, I personally probably would not have an abortion. It depends. Now, if my life is in danger, like Exodus said, is like, if I may, not be able to live, I don't know. But I know me personally, I probably wouldn't have one.
Okay, so we need to look at what God's law says.
Yes.
God's law never says that when you're raped, you can murder someone because you're raped.
It's not. Yes, the thing is, I'm still like contesting whether abortion is always murder, because murder means the premeditated killing of another being.
The intentional unjust killing of a human being.
So abortion would be premeditated because you thought to yourself, I have to kill this child.
Yes.
So that's premeditated. So, but think about self-defense, right? Killing someone is also in self-defense if your life is in danger, right?
Yes.
So you wouldn't be at fault for protecting yourself. Now, if you're just
that's if somebody's trying to kill you.
Yes, but of course, the baby itself is not killing you.
The baby's not trying to kill you.
There are instances where the baby is dying inside of her, and they won't give her an abortion because they think they'll be killing the baby because of the slim 1 to 2% chance that the baby may live.
Right, you wait till the baby dies, then you take the baby out.
Yes, but there are some times where the baby, as soon as it dies, it starts rotting. Right?
You take the baby out right away when the baby dies.
Sometimes they won't even let you do that because the procedure itself is illegal. That's why we need to really, the procedure is illegal to
take a baby out that's dead.
To take a baby out. But even if it's close to dying, if it's not dead yet, there are some times where it'll start. I'm not very medically aware of this, but it's picky.
So we have to go with what God's law says. And in Exodus 21 that you mentioned, it says that if they hit the pregnant woman and they're struggling, two men are struggling together, they hit the pregnant woman. If they do that and there's no harm done, then the man who hit her is fined.
Right.
If there is harm done.
No, there's only if the baby dies, falls out, if she causes her to lose her seed, then the man is fine. Not if she is like just harmed or whatever. Because if she's harmed without any serious bodily injury, which means that she is okay, then they let him go free. But like also with a fine, because since the baby was killed. But since like if she was hurt, right? Like if she was seriously hurt, that means that is an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Like
so,
you know
I was initially wrong. It's if two men are struggling and hit a woman and the baby comes out, if there's no harm done, then the woman, the man who hit her is fined. But that it doesn't say the baby dies in that instance. It says the baby comes out. It doesn't say the baby dies.
I mean that means it's going to die.
No, not necessarily.
If a baby comes out of the womb,
no.
Die.
A baby can come out. Can come out through birth, right?
Right.
Okay. And a baby can come out and not die, right?
Yes, but like specifically, it's saying if it causes her to lose her seed. So if a baby, like on the off chance, of course, like if the baby's like 9 months and like they hit her,
and it can maybe induce labor.
Yeah, but 9 times out of 10, the baby would be dead because, as you know, babies are very soft.
Right,
their
and
bones
so
are very breakable. So if they hit her and it comes out, it will be dead.
If there's it says if there's no harm, he gets fined. So there is a chance the baby might not be harmed. But then it goes on to say, if there is harm done, then it's life for life. So
not for the baby. For the mother.
You're inserting that.
No,
it says if there's harm done. It doesn't distinguish between the baby and the mother. Pull it up. It does not distinguish between the harm done to the baby or the mother. It's saying harm in general. So that's either harm to the baby or harm to the mother. So that actually proves that abortion should be prosecuted and should be criminalized as murder, and that we should actually give the death penalty to people who murder their children through abortion. Because that verse says life for harming preborn children.
I prefer to work on prevention when it comes to this type of topic, and especially in marginalized groups where they have unfortunate situations where they get raped or they, all this stuff. Do you have anything to say or anything your religious group is working on for like preventative in those instances? Because I'm not talking about the regular person who just doesn't want to have a child. I'm talking about.
I preach against fornication, having sex outside of marriage.
Okay, so when someone doesn't have an option,
I like
stuff like that. Is there anything that the community is doing to help prevent those situations where people don't end up pregnant by a father?
Well, I preach the gospel and tell people to follow the laws of God, and when people are regenerated, they don't rape people.
Right, but like you're talking about you, but I'm talking about like as an organization. Is there anything that you guys are doing like a longer, like a scale to prevent this type of pregnancies?
Prevent rapes?
That you know about? Like,
she's gonna show me this verse.
So 22, when men get in a fight and the hit a pregnant woman, so that actually this is CSB. I'll read it off of here. So if people are fighting and hit a pregnant woman and she gives birth prematurely, but there's no serious injury, referring to the mother, right? No serious injury to the mother. And
that's your assumption.
No, that's correct, because even right here it says if the woman suffers no further injury beyond a miscarriage, which means the baby has died, a miscarriage means the baby comes out and is dead, right? So the offender must pay a fine as determined by the woman's husband and the judges. But if there is no serious injury, you are to take. Wait, hold on. Verse 22.
The verse doesn't say anything about miscarriage. That's their translation.
Birth prematurely means miscarriage. That's
birth premature.
You can have well, hold on. I know that, but like, there's different translations of the Bible. If you want to be absolutely correct, we can go to Hebrews.
Right. We need to go to the Hebrew.
No, I'm talking when it's written in Hebrew. I'm not like I don't know the language, so I can't prove it like factually, but. Like if we don't think too, like obviously we're thinking on the very strictly of it, but it clearly says birth prematurely, which means like they're not trying to, like, if you hit a woman and it causes the baby to come out, it's going to be a miscarriage, right?
No,
but
not necessarily.
Premature. We're not talking about premature birth where she's like giving birth and it's just and it's like not from like an induced thing naturally. It's like someone hit her, right? So that is a miscarriage. But in NIV it says it prematurely. But if you go to any other translation, it could say miscarriage. But it's still
right.
the same
But
thing.
the original Hebrew doesn't say miscarriage, because the original Hebrew miscarriage means the baby dies. But a baby can come out of a woman without dying when the woman is hit.
So what's your argument?
My argument is that people who murder their children through abortion should be put to death, according to that verse.
So let me ask you this seriously. Do you have kids?
Yes.
Do you have? Oh, sorry. Do you have a little girl?
No.
You don't have a little girl. Okay. So think about just if you had a little girl, right? This could be like, you know, I don't know, she's 10 years old, right? She gets raped by her uncle. She gets, you know.